In the lesson for New Vocab Unlocked for 计划, Deborah Driscoll asked, is there much difference between 计划 and 打算? And so Luke correctly pointed out that they can both be used as nouns and verbs, and they can both, when you're using them as a noun and a verb, 计划 does tend to be used a little bit more often as a noun. 打算 does tend to be used a little more often as a verb, but they do have a slight difference that Luke didn't mention that I thought I would just point out here. So, and it's a subtle difference, and these are the kind of things that you will pick up on as you get further understanding, and you don't even necessarily consciously understand these things. It's just that you use the right one in the different contexts. That's something so important to understand about these types of questions. I love these types of questions. They're great. They're interesting. It's fun to do the intellectual exercise of figuring out what context would I use 打算 and what context would I use 计划. But the reality is that if you get enough comprehensible input, you'll just use the right one in the right context because you've seen it in your input. So you don't even necessarily consciously know why. But that said, though, let's talk a little bit about what the conscious difference is between them. So 打算 often means intend to when it's not a real set plan. So like, for example, I might say 我打算去法国旅游. So that means I intend to go to travel to France. I don't have any plans set in stone. It's just a thing I want to do in my life. I want to travel to France someday, right? And if that's what you're saying, then 打算 is the word you want to use. Now, if I said the same sentence, 我计划去法国旅游, that is a little bit more formal, but also the plan is set. I'm doing it. That's what's going on, right? So the more objective and solid the plan is, the more appropriate 计划 is. And the more vague it is, and the more sort of just general intention that it is 打算. That's a little bit better. So just bear that in mind. It's a small, subtle difference between the two. And as a part of speech, in terms of grammar, you can use them in the same way. You can use both as a noun. You can use both as a verb. But it's just really that sort of set, solid plans versus kind of intentional, someday maybe plans.
谢谢你观看我们的这个视频. If you found this video valuable and you'd like us to help you reach fluency and literacy in Mandarin Chinese as fast as possible without all the headache of traditional learning methods, just head to mandarinblueprint.com to learn more. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell below to be notified every time we release a new video. And of course, 保重